All right, we're going to bring in Kalen DeBoer now, Alabama's head football coach. Coach, welcome in. I don't know why I'm welcoming you. We're in your building today, but thank you for having us over here.
Welcome to you guys.
This is sort of a new feeling for us to be in the building over here. And you made the announcement yesterday. You're going to have open viewing areas for the media and practices. You obviously learned very early that we could watch practices and not figure out anything you were doing anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime we can kind of work together to get our message out from our program, and you know, I know you all want to see what's happening too, and so that balance where it's benefiting both of us, I think that's what we're trying to find. So I'm looking forward to it.
How surreal is the moment? You know, we talked about months ago how you used to make sandwiches for your players at Sioux Falls. You go from that to coaching at a national championship setting in Washington to just, 6-7 weeks ago, you're on a podium as Alabama's new head coach, and 10 feet in front of you is Nick Saban, the greatest to ever do it. Are you one of those guys that gets caught up in a surreal moment? I mean, you didn't seem so behind the podium, but it seems kind of like a dream scenario.
Yeah, I think as you get older, you have perspective. Fortunately, I think I've had a lot of experiences to where you have some perspective on the things that are happening in your life. You know, making a national championship game, and a lot of it revolves around what you're doing for those around you, or what the experience is for them. And so, you know, those were awesome events. Winning a Pac-12 championship and seeing the guys rush the field, you know, after the Sugar Bowl and all of that. Those are the moments you do what you do for, and the fan bases and all that. But you know, I think just personally, there's an understanding of you know, coming to Alabama, what that all means, and you know, you don't just have time to sit there and really process necessarily and predict what's going to happen. You're just in the moment, and you're working where your feet are at each and every day, and giving your all, just like you have for the last 20-some years that I've been a football coach.
I try not to make important decisions when I'm tired or emotional, and it felt like you maybe had to do that. I mean, I could be misreading that, but you had just lost the national championship game on Monday. Coach Saban retires on Tuesday, and I believe it was Thursday that Greg Byrne was having dinner with you and your wife. I mean, you had to be tired and emotional at that point. What was the process of making that decision for you?
Yeah, it was a lot. I'm not gonna lie. You know, that I remember specifically Tuesday. You know, we're heading back on a plane, and you know, texting a lot of the guys, especially the ones that were done. You know, how much I loved them, how much I appreciated everything they given, how excited I am about the next phase of their life, and even, you know, that night, just, you know, man, we, you know, 24 hours ago, we had a chance to win a national championship, and we fell short, you know, and that just eating at me. And Wednesday, kind of just realizing, okay, it's time to go win a national championship. It's time to get back to work already right now and not be in your feelings and all that kind of stuff. And so, you know, that was the mindset. And then obviously, like you said, it switches into a different area, different topic, and different conversations. You know, a little over 24 hours later, you know, Thursday mid-morning, afternoon, and things like that. And, you know, Friday getting the call that the opportunity existed to come here. It was a lot, but I got a good support system. I got a lot of people from family to friends, whether they're in the profession or not. And again, I think having that perspective and be able to slow things down, and you know, it was things that I was able to do, and I feel awesome about how it all came together.
You used the word love there, and that's the scouting report on you, that you're not afraid to use the word, and relationships mean a lot to you in this business, whether it's your coaching staff that stays with you a long, long time, or your relationship with players. Talk a little bit about that and how you've kept a certain group of people around you for a long time, and even bringing people back like Kane to be on your coaching staff.
Yeah, I think the people you put around you are so important, and you know, they got to be they got to be skilled, and they got to be talented, and all those good things. They be great in the recruiting and everything football related. But you know, if you can put like-minded and driven people around you that have a great heart and low ego, you know, and you know, I think we put so much time into each and every day. If you can have some fun while you're doing it, because you know, if you're not, it becomes even a greater grind than what it is already. You know, that's important. And so, quickly realized, guys like Kane Womack and many others on the staff, how great of coaches they were, what their impact was, how, working together and us being, stronger than the cumulative of our parts individually. I think that's huge. And we have a staff right now that I feel great about as far as like-minded and why we do what we do, but also extremely skilled and having great experiences and coming together, with low ego.
Is it important sometimes to bring in new blood, though, new voices that haven't been with you a couple of years?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of that.
Yeah.
Really, there's only 2 coaches on the staff that were with me at Washington.
Right.
Shep and Sheridan. And so a lot of different pieces. I think it's huge. You want people that know your systems, not just I'm talking offensively, but just kind of the mechanics of your operation and what how to get that consistency incorporated into our program here quickly as efficiently as possible. But I completely agree. I think you have to always be evolving, and in order to evolve, you have to have other voices. And I think we got a great combination of that. I mean, I think we have other head coaches like Mo Lindquist and what he brings, and sitting in his position meeting the other day, and just what type of coach he is, just is awesome. Our guys are going to get coached up in a special way, and I go around each room and hear that. And Coach Cap, with the offensive line, just time and time again, as I was looking for an offensive line coach, which I think is one of the critical pieces. They're all critical, but a huge part of your program. And just the recommendations, I mean, he's living up to all those, already just in 1 week here being together with him. So I go on and on about every coach and what they bring. I think we got a special group that is ready to, prove something. They're driven people. And, again, I keep bringing up low ego because, the decisions we make have to be the best decisions for Alabama football, not the ones because we thought of it.
I've always believed there's like great musicians and actors that'll never be discovered. Look, it's a lot of hard work, but it's also a little bit of luck. And the way you got into coaching, just help me clean up the story. But I think you're living with a guy. He gets offered a job, and it's a Friday afternoon. He calls either the athletic director, help me out here, and says, look, I can't take the job. But my roommate's standing here. He needs a job. He wants to get into coaching. You have a 5-minute conversation. That's a Friday afternoon. And then Monday, you're on the job.
Yeah. Yeah, it's who you know, right? And, Curtis Riggs is my best friend. We were college teammates. He had a teaching job or he had a coaching job at Washington High School there in Sioux Falls. And it wasn't a full-time teaching job. And he got offered one at the one of the crosstown rivals, and took that opportunity to support his family that he was already building. And, when that happened, exactly that. Kim Nelson, the head coach at Washington, asked if he had any recommendations, and I happened to be right there. And so –
Do you remember what you were making?
Yeah. It was in the high 20s. I think it was high 20s, So we got – but the best thing was I got to be –
You got a backup long snapper making that NIL now.
That's what I made for a long time, about 16 years probably.
Yeah.
So, but that was awesome. I got to be the weight room, run the weight program in the summer and be around the kids that way. There was so many positives. I was a head sophomore coach, and we went 8-0 my first year. I got to throw that in there, right?
So you really have won at every level.
I loved it. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So, that sophomore team was the one that was it was fun to be a part of. It got me into it, and I really found the love for coaching.
Your Coach Kalen DeBoer is with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Your perception of Alabama football was what, and was it reality when you got here and saw it?
Yeah, I mean, I just think –
Or do you know yet?
I think that – no, yeah. The perception just was that, it just the tradition, the history, the pride, it's obvious, there through the championships. But I think there was always this understanding of how things were done, and it was done the right way, through discipline, through hard work, through physicality on the football field, just all those pieces that, whether they're core values or just the style of play, that I think everyone always look to. You always look to the champions and the ones that are the best of the best. And so there were so many, over the years, Coach Saban quotes, comments, videos, things that you'd kind of see through Alabama football. And obviously, breaking down film, you're always stealing from everyone. And, the red zone throws or whatever it might be, you're always taking that. And Alabama football was always a part of those things too. But it's been amazing. There's great people, and that's what made it all work, starting with Coach Saban. He surrounded himself with, great people that were extremely talented, and he kept the direction, and that's going the right direction, all in one, and that's what we're doing here now.
I asked Coach Saban this one time about one of the more meaningful times that he had been disciplined growing up, and he told me a great tire-changing story after he'd thrown a couple of interceptions in a high school game. Discipline's part of coaching, whether you're disciplining players or holding people accountable for things. Can you tell me a time in your life that you can remember being disciplined either by a coach or a parent that really changed your direction or your life a little bit?
I mean, I was a pretty good kid. No, I don't know.
So you never bashed mailboxes with baseball bats?
I can't say that there was too many. I'm sure there was something. I think that what I had for coaches growing up in high school, they were just positive reinforcers, and just they did. Like, if you didn't do something right in a drill, whether it be I think about basketball and football in particular, you were redoing it, and the reinforcement of when you were good was even greater when things went well, and that's what I really try to do, is show our guys, what it should look like, and hold them accountable to that, and we talk about practicing until you can't get it wrong. You practice until you always get it right. And so just keep with it. I think you always get better with reps. And so we talk a lot about the repetitions. You get better as a play caller with reps. You get better as a head coach with reps. You get better as a player, obviously, with the more reps you take. And so just trying to streamline things, trying to be efficient, and making sure that I got those pieces in place to where our guys can get those reps they need to be great.
On the theme of being a good kid, Tom Frederick, play-by-play, Sioux Falls, said in a decade working with you, this is hard to believe, said he never heard you say a cuss word. I just want to tell you, the last coach that didn't cuss in the SEC was Bobby Johnson at Vanderbilt.
I thought it was Gus Malzahn. I thought Gus didn't cuss either.
I think Gus would drop one occasionally.
Okay.
But Tom said, a decade, never one bad word out of your mouth.
He's up in the booth. He's up in the booth. He's a long ways away. I don't know. I
think that was just his way, and it was an interview of saying, Kalen's a great guy.
Yeah. No, to me, there's a fire. Don't get me wrong. There's a fire, and there's a competitiveness that the guys see. I think they see that already in the workouts, and they feel that in how we meet in team meetings, and the standard that exists. It's still the same standard. It's just messaged a different way, I think. And I don't know. I just feel like you are who you are. And for me, finding ways to positively reinforce. Obviously there's a piece like you were kind of bringing up. There's a discipline moment or things like that. That still happens, But how do you message that, and how do you deliver, and how do you work together with these guys for the players to understand that, hey, I'm fighting the same fight you are. I want the same things you want. We all want for you individually, and we want for our team to be great. That just comes through. Continue to be there to support them, and help get them corrected. We talk about our coaches' jobs are to teach, critique, and demand. And so we're teaching, we're being critical of them, and we're demanding excellence and demanding as much as close to perfection as that we can. And their jobs are to grind, refine, and compete. And so the guys are grinding, they're refining their skills, and they're competing to be the best they can.
All right, a couple things we want to do. Lance has a list for you so we can get to know you a little bit better. But also our producer back in Birmingham, Rockstar, he's a musician, not a big sports guy. Are you a big music guy? Do you like music?
I like listening to music. But
okay.
I can't say
you got a favorite band or anything?
I like a lot of them.
Okay.
I listen to all kinds.
We're not going to pin you down on that one. Rockstar always has a question. We never know what it's going to be. Rockstar, Coach DeBoer is listening.
Hey, Coach, it's Rockstar. First question, real quick. Have you ever met another Kalen?
I have not. There are some more now, especially in the South Dakota area that I've heard of. So
there you go.
The generation. I think that there's a few out there. I've not met them though.
And the second question, final question, is: I'm hoping you're aware of Gordon Ramsay. If Gordon Ramsay came to your house tonight and said, "Cook me the DeBoer signature dish," what would that entail?
Oh, a lot of different. Those that know me know that that food options. I'm not too picky, but probably combination. I mean, it could be a bunch of different things. I mean, I love the meat and potato piece. Just a good steak. I do like like Mexican tacos.
Heck
Things like
yeah.
that. So
Let's
those
do
would
that.
probably be something, especially some of the areas I've lived out
Yeah.
in the West Coast and Fresno. There was some good street tacos out there that I enjoyed.
We deep fry everything down here, though. That's what you got to
I'm
get
good
used
with
to.
that.
So what
too.
makes it
I
good?
mean, my
I'm
gosh.
great with that.
Oh, it's so good. The food down here is so good. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
Hey, some of the worst conditions I can remember. There was an Independence Bowl with A&M and Mississippi State.
Yeah, played in the snow.
You played South Dakota Tech, an 8-6 final.
Yeah.
And the word was, like, you couldn't even, like, see 5 feet in front of your face, and the blizzard was so bad. Were you not called in to punt from your own 10-yard? No, you guys were on your own 10-yard line when you punted, right?
Yeah, the first time we did it, punting into the wind, and I mean, by the time I think it was 8 to 10 inches that it snowed that day, and so they just couldn't even keep up with it, and the game should never have been
Yeah,
played.
why did you guys play?
The game should never have been played, but we were number 1 in the country, or we were close to it, maybe number 2. And this was the only chance that the other team had to win. And I think they did everything they could to make sure that game happened. There was no one in the stands. I mean, there was, at that level, very few to begin with, but no one wanted to be there. And, we punted into the wind the first time, and I don't think it was a positive punt. I don't think it made past the lines. And I think it actually went past the line of scrimmage and came back.
Blew back, yeah.
I think it came back. So from then on out, it was just the game was played in probably about 25 to 30 yards of the field, and then the quarter switched. And so when the quarter switched, you actually were with the wind and on a part of the field that had never been played. Well, instantaneously, you went 3 and out, right?
It's just
Of course,
ice,
yeah.
right?
So now that you did punt it with the wind, and it took a one hop and just stopped right on the 1-yard line. We got a safety, and we won the football game. because
Wow.
It was 6-6 at the time.
The first thing I heard about you was how accessible you were. And I think it was one of our old friends, Ian Fitzsimmons from ESPN, covered you after the win against Texas. And he said that you said, I'll be back. And you went, you did all these interviews, and you still sat down for 10 minutes. And then I read, even going back to, you lost a game 55-0, and you go out in, like, blizzard conditions, and you climb a ladder to a press box to do, like, a 30-minute sit-down.
That was the worst.
Are you too accessible?
That was the worst defeat ever. That's one. I learned a lot from that one, though. 55-0 at Carroll, Montana, Helena, Montana. And I don't remember if it was a ladder, but I do remember you had to make a special effort to get there to do the post game with Tom, who you brought up earlier. And
You should have been cussing at that one, by the way.
Internally there was a lot of cussing going on. But, I mean, just kind of had your lick your wounds on that one. We weren't the better team to begin with, but the conditions were not favorable. And the next year I learned a lot because our kids, we had a lot of the same kids back, and we went and won the national championship the next year. And I remember getting on that plane thinking, are we really 55 points worse than the team that we just played? And our kids showed resiliency, and that's what I think I've always learned, is that kids are more resilient than you think, and they get back to work pretty quickly, and we did exactly that.
Man, status of money changed so many people. I'll never forget, we were at the Regions golf tournament that I guess you'll be playing in the next couple of months. I don't know if you've been told that, but Josh
You do play golf, right?
It's on the calendar.
Well,
Okay, good.
He has
All
to.
right,
He's from Millbank, South Dakota, the home of American Legion, where you played baseball, basketball, football, everything. I forgot what my point was going to be here.
Something about golf. You were talking about how money changed.
Yeah. So we had Kirby on, and Kirby sat down with us, and this is probably 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, it was 5 or 6 years ago. And he's like, how much longer is your break? And I said, look, when you win a national championship, we'll never talk to you again.
Yeah.
And we talked to him a little bit, not as much.
But then he started talking about wine. We're like, Kirby, you didn't drink wine when you were a defensive
He's
coordinator
playing
at Alabama.
pickleball, drinking wine. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, it's pretty amazing that you've stayed kind of humble to those roots throughout this journey.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know any better, and that's just what those are special times to me. All those places and the people I've been around, they're so special. I mean, every stop along the way, and I think especially, I mean, they all are, even assistant coach spots, but I think the ones where you're a head coach and you pour everything into the program you're at, Sioux Falls, Fresno State, Washington, you pour everything into it, and you're bringing people together, and those are the ones that are special, and obviously that's what we have here now at Alabama.
Have you been in a grocery store or somewhere else where somebody's recognized you yet? I saw the wife throughout the first pitch at softball. Has it been there's the Alabama coach moment yet?
Oh yeah, that's I don't know if I'm to Coach Saban status or anything like that, where he goes around and I think it's everyone's around him. But yeah, certainly is the case. I mean, I think everyone follows the program so closely. I think it's it's just part of it. But you embrace that. That's a special privilege to be here and be in this role, and you embrace it and you love it.
Yeah, your days of going to getting beer with the guys are probably over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay. That's okay, though, right?
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Do we have time for a list?
Yeah, we got time for a list, real quick.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought you were hitting the list already. Knock it out real
No,
quick.
I saw Max and look at that watch. And
Yeah,
I don't know.
Josh is nervous.
Well, jump
we
into
make
that
Josh
list.
nervous, Coach.
Yeah, we could go fast. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
all
not
right,
that big of a deal. If
all
I
right.
ask you, okay, here we go. One game, one quarterback, Brady or Mahomes?
Man.
Both in their prime, obviously.
Well, I would go Brady. Still.
There's no wrong answer
Yeah,
on that one.
I think I would go Brady,
Yeah,
too.
that's tough.
Would you rather have a good Western or a good war movie?
Probably a good war movie.
Okay.
What's the best one?
I was going to say Saving Private Ryan or
Saving
Apocalypse
Private
Now.
Ryan.
Saw Hamburger Hill last night. You ever seen that one?
Yeah. No, I haven't.
It's good.
But, yeah, I don't know. There's those ones. Those are. I would say a war movie.
Okay, so we kind of grew up around the same time. I thought the 80s movies were a lot of fun. My kids still love them. Do you have a favorite 80s movie?
I love the sports movies. Was it Hoosiers?
Hoosiers is phenomenal.
Bull Durham was 80s.
Yeah,
Major League was 80s.
All those.
Yeah.
The humor, the ones with humor, but
Caddyshack.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you've seen both up close and personal. More impressive, the Space Needle or Mount Rushmore?
Man, see, I'm gonna have to. I think the Space Needle is probably more impressive, but obviously now I'm going against my home state, and the pride I have for South Dakota. But it's pretty impressive being in the Space Needle and looking out over everything that you can see from Rainier to the lake to the lake and everything around there.
Yeah, Rocky, what was the show we watched with the drones that covered America?
Aerial America.
Aerial America,
Yeah.
Smithsonian. I remember watching one on Seattle, and there's one dude that changes that bulb at the top of the Space Needle.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
One
that.
fun fact with with Mount Rushmore. I mean, it's happened so long ago, it probably doesn't matter. But I have been on top of Mount Rushmore.
Oh, really?
Have you really?
I didn't know that was allowed.
It's not.
Jimmy Stewart was on it in North by Northwest.
Special. It was my probably 2005 or 2006. Some of us coaches right after the signing day time went out there, and special security. We had a player on our team, and his dad was in charge of the security, and he got us up there before it opened.
Wow.
One day and gotten it behind there, and so I wish we'd had the phones now with more pictures. 'Cause
Yeah, I know.
we didn't capture enough pictures back then, or at least good ones, and
Yeah.
so that was a pretty special moment.
Do you remember your first significant concert? Who it was?
When we were in college, we used to work a lot of them at the fair there, and so I can't say I was an attendee, but I was as a football player, you were there. So I think it was a lot of the country, like Tim McGraw and I think Garth Brooks.
Heck
and
yeah.
Some
yeah.
of those.
Yeah.
I think, a lot of those.
First car you drove?
Chevy Blazer.
Well, that's me too.
wow.
Chevy
Mid
Blazer.
80s model, probably.
Yeah.
Mine was an 88. I totaled it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine was a Ford LTD with no reverse. You had to be creative on date night.
Yeah.
Parking a hill.
Yeah, you would have to be.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure that one out.
That only happened twice a year for him, so it was no big deal.
Do you remember your first job?
Yeah, I mean, a job where I got paid.
Yeah.
I worked on a farm when I was growing up, so that was a job right there. But
Was it Millbank?
yeah, it was outside of Millbank. But I worked in the rec department, mowing lawns and taking care of the fields,
Lining fields?
all that good stuff.
I used
yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
I used
Yeah.
to love lining
You
fields.
don't have to do that at Bryant Denny. They got somebody to do
They
that
got
for you.
someone?
Yeah,
Oh,
they got
that's
somebody.
good.
You're good.
Most famous person in your cell phone, not Nick Saban.
Not Brock Heward.
I'm not sure. Brock's up there.
Yeah,
You guys
yeah.
got to give him some credit.
Yeah, that's a legendary quarterback, Brock
So,
Heward.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's some good ones. You're on the quarterback legendary. The one I think one of my favorites is Warren Moon back there.
Oh, heck yeah.
So, I mean, since we're on the quarterback and all that, yeah.
Yeah, just two more. Last sporting event you actually paid to attend.
That's You're trying to put me on the spot on that one. It could be some wrong answers.
Well, not really. I don't know. I didn't think I would think it's been forever since you actually went as a spectator.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay.
It's been a while. So I'm sure there's one in there.
You can circle back on that
Probably
one.
not.
I wasn't trying to trip you up. And then finally, if you had to give up one forever, pillow or blanket.
I think the spectator one would probably be some event like my kids' events.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it would be. That's what it would be.
Because even if they let you in free, you want to support this program, right? Yeah.
Little club softball or something.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Pillow or blanket? You got to give one up forever.
Oh man, I mean, I'd probably give up the pillow, I guess, because you can turn the blanket into a pillow.
That's true.
Yep.
See,
So
Resourceful.
he's a resourceful guy.
You don't get to the top of Mount Rushmore without that kind of creativity right there. Man, thank you for
Thank
the
you,
time,
Coach.
and thanks for opening the doors for us. I'm glad you're here. We watched on signing day. I watched you interact with the coaches. They all seem like tremendously great guys, and the interaction you guys have, it's really good. We're looking forward to working with you in the future. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me
All
on.
right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Coach.